What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's edition of Pop Culture Geekly. This week we're taking a look at, well, you guessed it, pop culture news. The question is, when there's ghosts around, who are you going to call? The Cumber Buddy? Tango and Cash reunited? We'll find out this week. Hey, guess who's here? It's me, Corey, and Nick.
Hey, it's me, Nick. And guess what?
Nick,
Corey.
who else is here?
There's another guy sitting right beside me right here.
Oh my God, I see him. Who's this?
That's Gragg joining
Cragg,
us on the
Gragg,
podcast.
is that really your name?
Hey! So we got a special guest on the podcast.
Special guest. He's a super special guest.
You're a super special guest.
Well, I feel special. Thank
For
you.
those of you who don't know, Nick and I used to live together. We were roommates, and Gragg was one of those roommates.
Yep.
We lived with another guy.
That was
And another guy, and another guy, and there was about 7 people in that house, I think.
We never knew that. But
It was a great experience. That's all I've got to say about that.
oh, thanks, buddy.
Anyway, in the plastic tombstone world, looks like yesterday we had a mystery play come out called Hellhounds,
Hellhounds.
where me and Nathan shot about 55 dogs in the face.
Oh my God, is that all it is? Is you killing
It's pretty
innocent
much-
animals?
You collect skulls, and you shoot dogs in the face. That's
Cragg-
pretty much what happened.
Cragg, do you think they were the Hellhounds that came after you in your dreams?
Oh, I'd prefer not to talk about that. We need to keep those far away from me.
Cragg believes in the paranormal. And we're going to get in that later with the Ghostbusters talk.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about it.
And it looks like later on in the week, we're going to have me and Corey playing Chariot, Part 1.
Oh, chariot. Oh, hell. I don't know what the words are right there. So.
I hope you like that because you'll hear it about 95 times if you watch the video.
Well, is there any other thing to do? Shout out to Gavin DeGraw, I guess.
And visit us at plastictombstonestudios.com. This Gragg guy, he's the one who designed that site.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. We celebrities amongst us.
Celebrity amongst us.
Amongst us?
I
That's what I
do.
said.
I do.
All right, and that's about it. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, and like and subscribe, and
Follow us in real life if you feel like it. That would be weird, but
also Corey, there might be special videos come out next week.
special videos.
Yep.
What kind of special videos?
Far Cry Primal related.
Oh, my God.
I'll get
Is
to
it-
that later.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I like that game.
It's fun.
You know what I really like is that we have a bear that follows us called TJ Miller.
Yep, TJ Miller and Skinny Pete. Those are our animals. But look for that next week, and that's it.
All right, so we're switching it up again, guys, because that's what we do. Because we don't know a format, we're just having fun. So we're gonna start out with some video game news. Nick, what do you got for us? I know you're the video game aficionado. I mean, I play video games too, but this dude, he knows what's happening in the world.
I'm on the scene, man. I'm on the scene.
I think you're really just on IGN a lot, which is fine.
Pretty much. It's a good site.
Shout
I'm on
out.
it right now. I'm looking at it right now. We're all looking at it.
Hey, we are.
Anyway, looks like Uncharted 4 got delayed 2 weeks again.
Fuck, really?
Coming out May 10th.
Anybody knows me? Not a big PS4 guy, but those games are fucking fun.
Uncharted is a phenomenal game series.
Yeah. The second one's still my favorite.
Second one's still the best. Who knows what's going to happen in this fourth one? People think he's going to die.
Well, they got to end it somehow, right?
Yeah. I bet you she gets pregnant.
I think what'll happen is they'll find a crystal skull.
And Shia LaBeouf will be like, I'll be an Uncharted
I'll
5.
be a new Nathan Drake. He'll be his son. What's another?
Do it!
Could you imagine? He just opens an old refrigerator and Shia LaBeouf pops out. Do it! It might be one of the coolest things that could ever happen as an Easter, even if it's just an Easter egg.
But also, look, the beta went on last weekend. We're actually recording this on the weekend.
Yeah,
The beta's going
yeah.
on right now, but when
you-
this comes out,
Did you get in, Nick?
yeah, I'm going to get in. I'm going to play some of it.
Oh, you better.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I thought it was. Is this an open beta or is this closed?
It's open. This
Oh,
one's
it's
open.
open?
The
Okay.
last one was closed. This one's open. And it looks fun. I'll let you know. I'll probably do a cat feet video in it. So
Oh, cat feet.
riding solo on that one. I'll be in it on it.
Are you
Um,
riding dirty though? That's the real question.
That's all I ever do.
Cragg's riding pretty now in his new vehicle.
Why don't you tell them what you used to roll around in?
Are you talking about my S10?
Your S10, what'd you have? Diamond
my
A diamond
God.
stud earring? That was my favorite Cragg of all time. He was
It's
really
history.
gangsta.
It's history. Let's keep it history.
No, let's talk about how
You
you know every word to every Bone Thugs and Harmony song.
Murder.
let me ask you one question. You ready?
What's that?
Where did all your diamond studs go?
Oh my God! I had to sell them.
You sold them.
Yeah.
How much did you sell it for?
I didn't.
Did
get
you have
very much
real
money
diamond
for 'em.
studs, or like they came out of
Were
the
they
one of
cubic
those-
No, no,
zirconia?
no. Yeah, they were cubics. They were cubics.
Maybe you had a sapphire stud.
Oh man!
What's your birth month?
It's April, actually. Diamonds.
Oh, there
Oh,
you go.
Yeah.
there it is, rocking it.
And so look for Uncharted 4
Look for
beta,
Cragg to be riding dirty in an S10.
and also another delayed news. Mass
This
Effect,
one makes me very sad.
Mass
because-
Effect Andromeda pushed to 2017.
Ugh, so sad.
That's a reboot, right?
I don't-
not a
I don't
reboot,
think
like,
it's a reboot.
it's like after.
years after, so Shepard's not involved, and
So
they could probably introduce some new races. and,
remember
you know.
when Mass Effect 3 ended? Can we talk about? Is it too late to talk about spoilers? Where all the big decision is 3 choices.
Yeah, but I don't even think it was that bad of an ending. Like everybody made it out to be like the worst thing that
I
could
didn't
ever
think it
happen.
was terrible, but
I mean, it could have been. Sure, it could have been better, but
it was like, hey, you can choose
It's
to die,
also-
or
you
you
also-
can choose to live and die, or you can choose to just kill everybody.
it also comes to the point where it's like, well, how do we end this? Like this is
Yeah.
it's because almost any finale to anything never really lives up to the hype.
Oh, yeah, you
almost
can't.
ever.
Unless
Except
it's
for-
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, there you go.
There you
right
go.
there.
Nice, Cragg dropping the knowledge
Dropping
right
the
there.
knowledge. The Breaking Bad finale, phenomenal. It's the only way it should have ended.
Yep.
Yeah, it was perfect.
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 Super. You know what? I kind of wish that they would bring it back.
What's
Breaking
gonna
Bad,
happen?
He
What
didn't
about-
die.
He just wakes up.
he beat the cancer.
Where would Jesse What would Jesse Pinkman do?
He
That
was-
motherfucker went through so goddamn much shit. There's no way he would ever go back.
Oh, he would. He
Really?
would have to.
Remember when?
Captain Cook would be back. Don't
Captain
forget that he was Captain Cook at one time.
What the fuck was her name? Andrea?
Oh,
That just got blasted in the back of the head?
Yeah, that didn't go well.
Who was that again?
was-
Andrea, the
that-
girl he was going out with
with
the
the kid.
Oh,
And then they wanted him to work. They wanted him
They
to
wanted
work
worse,
for
so they
him.
just fucking blew her brains out.
right on the porch.
Oh,
And they never said what that
Yeah.
happened to that kid.
Nope, they didn't.
That kid's straight up in foster care. But the best Jesse Pinkman episode, which was kind of like that, was that one. I think he got an Emmy for that one. The one with the ATM machine in the drug people's house and the kids.
Yep.
The kid,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, that was good.
That was
That was
sad.
hard to watch, man.
Yep.
That kid just comes stumbling out
That's
there.
that's a show that like I can go back and watch, even though I know everything's gonna happen. It's still fucking
We
mesmerizing.
watched the entire, like, we do a lot of work around Christmas, like wrapping presents and shit like that. And we just sat down to watch Breaking Bad. We'll just put it on as background noise. I can't tell you how many nights we ended up just like staring at it again for like 6 hours straight. I'm like, oh, we didn't wrap anything.
because it's like the best. It's the best acting I've ever seen on television. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just perfect story, and it's just so well acted that you are literally mesmerized by those guys.
Did you watch Better Call Saul?
I did. I love Better Call Saul.
I'm
Did you
not
watch
caught. I'm not caught up
It's
yet.
on right
I
now,
haven't
and
watched.
I'm trying to catch
I haven't
up.
watched last week's episode.
I mean, but you watched the first season. I watched
Yeah.
any of the second season.
Yeah, I've watched all the first.
So I got kind of a bone to pick with that show. A little
Oh no,
bit.
what's up?
Okay, so the beginning, the very first episode. See, look, this is what happens. We were talking about goddamn Mass Effect, and now we're on Breaking Bad. Anyway, the very first episode, the big cliffhanger was it Tuco? Was the
Yeah.
one who took Saul?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that was awesome. And then in the next episode, he's just like, you're fine.
Yeah.
And you never saw him again.
Well, they'll bring him back. I'm sure.
I hope so, because it was kind of like I felt a little bait and switched.
They're
on
kind of from everything I read, like Vince Gilligan's going to try to pepper in Breaking Bad components throughout it.
And,
Yeah.
and I see him doing that even with the second season.
Because it was kind of like, it was almost Breaking Bad like. It was kind of crimey and all this other
Yeah.
stuff. And then it was just like, all right, here's like 4 episodes of lawyer stuff.
Well, I mean,
Which was
that's what
fine.
it
I
is, you know.
I'm not saying I didn't like it, but that was my only.
I love the dynamic between him and his brother. Like that's one of my favorite. Like that's what's really gripping about that show to me right now. I mean, because the other stuff is just kind of like, oh, this is background, but the real core story is between him and his brother. And I guess that chick, I still don't know what's going on there, but
Yeah.
Cragg,
I don't
what
know.
did you
I
have?
don't know. I'm not feeling Better Call Saul.
Yeah,
To
it's
me,
not. It's not.
it's-
It's not as good for
They're
sure.
They're definitely feeding off of Breaking Bad.
That was my thing. It was like
And-
the first episode was kind of like,
Yeah,
hey,
and
it's just like Breaking Bad. Just kidding.
yeah, well, and that's how the whole first season to me was.
I f-
It's
It can't be just like Breaking Bad though, because
No, I
No,
I
it
understand
can't- it
that,
can't
but
be.
it was it tried to convince you a little bit that it was going to be
That's- yeah.
kind of like that, and then it was like, nope. we'll deal with him being a lawyer.
To me,
And why at the end of the season, spoiler alert, did he just like fuck it and he drove away?
I don't know, man. He's got to become. He's
Because
got to become Saul. He can't just be Jimmy.
But here's my thought: if the first season didn't work out, that's a perfect way to close it. Because then he could have just gone and been Saul, and that would have been it.
Yeah, that's true.
But now I guess they kind of left it open ended.
the second season is a lot like the first season to me right now. I've watched the first 2 episodes,
Yeah.
and I can see where they're trying to show where Saul's turning into, Saul Goodman.
Yeah.
And, I like it for the most part, but it's not. To me, there's nothing really that said, "Oh man, this is it. This is a show."
Is it fair for me to say that the best part is Mike being back?
Oh, I love
Mike
Mike.
Ehrman's
Mike's awesome.
What was that? The saddest death in Breaking Bad?
Probably. Yeah.
Because that was the first person Walt killed that he didn't have to.
Right.
Like everybody else was in his way, but he was just like, oh, and he just got pissed, and bam, that was it.
It was kind of the best. It had to happen though, because they had to show that he had truly, like, that was the biggest thing about Breaking Bad was, when did he break bad? Because a lot of people for the longest time were like, well, he's not really bad yet. He's just doing this to help his family. But I mean, that was kind of the coolest conversation that came out of Breaking Bad was what was the moment that made him truly bad? And mine was always when he let that Jesse's girlfriend die.
Yeah,
When
Jessica
he didn't-
Jones.
Yeah, when he didn't
Definitely.
save her. Like,
Yeah, I mean, he was maybe kind of trying to defend himself there. I think when he tried to double cross Gus was when that was it. That
Gustavo?
to me,
Gustavo Fring.
because that was it. Because he didn't have to. All he had to do was keep working, but he kept getting mad. Like he was kind of like petty, and he was just like he wanted to be the boss, and that was his whole thing. And to me, when he decided he wanted to be in the empire business and not the meth business, then. Well, he wasn't. It wasn't. I'm not in the money making business. I'm in the empire business.
Yeah.
He wanted to be the king.
The kingpin, man.
Yeah, and it didn't matter how
But-
much money he had. It didn't matter who it was. To me, that's when it started.
Can't you? Do you agree that Giancarlo Esposito as Gus was like one of the greatest roles of all time? I thought
he
that
was
dude
awesome. He was great.
awesome.
When he drank the poison and then like he just
Just-
kind of calmly he sat there.
Him
No,
the
that
whole
was-
time.
Yeah.
Everything he did was awesome. I mean, like, dude was just genius.
I think my favorite Gus scene was the box cutter, the opening of the where he walks in there and fucking Walt just tries to explain and talk his way out of it and say this, then you can't do this, and he just keeps doing it. He keeps doing what he's doing. And then he just finally, Walt's just like, please. And there was like, cut that guy's throat, and that was the end of it. And then the only thing he said for like 10 minutes is get back to work.
Right?
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Dude was killer.
That's classic Walt.
So anyway, Mass Effect.
Mass Effect Andromeda got delayed until 2017. So sad story if you like Mass Effect, which I did.
I love Mass Effect.
How
Cragg?
This is number 4.
Yes.
So, and this is coming out in 2017.
Yeah.
So I have time to play the first 3, right?
For
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
Okay.
And they're
well,
really good. They're actually really fun. The first one's a little hard to play, but
You can probably do a wiki on the first one because it's super long. Second one, top notch. Second
Third-
one's better than the third one,
Oh.
correct?
It's hard because I like the way that a lot of the personal stories end up in the third one. Like, I like the way that they kind of resolve.
Yeah.
But I know you need the second one to get to that. But I just,
There was like a ton of endings though, right?
yeah.
But basically Mass Effect 2 was you meet somebody, you recruit them for a suicide mission,
And
and you have to gain their loyalty
you
by
get
doing
Jack in that one, who is the best character of all time. I love
Yeah.
her, and I will forever be in love with her.
Who was my favorite? Fuck. I like Garrus. I thought he was awesome. And I don't know. I don't know if I have a
It was hard. It was hard because
Thane was cool. Thane was
I
cool
went
too.
through and I did like the playthrough where it was all Liara the whole time with Shadow Broker DLC, so you could like actually be her like
Yeah, that is
romance option still in the
that
second
is the
one.
best DLC for a game in standalone DLC. That was awesome. Story-wise, it should have been in the game,
Yeah.
but it was awesome as DLC. But basically, you try to gain loyalty, and if you gain loyalty, then these people will help your ship, so you have a better chance of surviving. But you can literally get to the end of the game, and everybody can be dead, including you, or everybody can survive.
Well, how do you know when the game's over then if you're dead?
It just ends.
Yeah.
Oh, so
if
you
you
don't get to
die, the
continue.
game ends and it says blah 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 so and so. Roll credits.
Oh.
You have to get to a certain point, but you can die in the mission. But all your character carried over.
It's
like, you're-
hard. See, it's hard for me. Sorry, go back to the second and third one because that third one had some epic fucking moments, man.
Yeah.
Like that whole ending where you're rushing towards the Reapers and stuff.
Yeah,
That was killer, dude. It's hard to.
yeah.
I know that the ending wasn't great, which Cragg, that's being spoiled for you, buddy. But
That's all right. I'm sure I'll forget it by tomorrow.
And so, on that note, it looks like in good news, No Man's Sky's finally got a release date, June 10th.
Cragg, what do you know about No Man's Sky?
I don't know anything. Please explain.
Me either. I've tried to figure it out, but I've got nothing.
It's kind of hard to explain. It's like
Is it Minecraft? No.
It's no.
Okay.
It's like they created a universe that exponentially grows, and you discover planets and name them, and each planet creates its own ecosystem and own life, all in the computer.
Oh, that's why I thought Minecraft, because I was like,
It is. It creates itself, but once you find a planet that nobody else finds, you get to name it whatever you want. So we're gonna name the Plastic Tombstone planet. That's what we're gonna
Oh,
do.
that's pretty exciting.
We're gonna go there, and if anybody stumbles across it who's playing it, they'll see that we discovered it. It's the Plastic Tombstone planet, and it could have dinosaurs on it. It could have nothing on it. It could be all water. It's all randomly created.
We need to find one that has bears. Yogi Bear 3D. We can name it Yogi Bear 3D, and then it's a subsidiary of PT Universe.
But your goal is to get to the center of the universe, and everybody's discovering planets all the time, and it'll tell you so-and-so discovered this planet, so-and-so discovered this planet. And there's trillions of planets. You'll never be able to see everything in the game.
Well, when you land, can you explore the entire
The
planet?
entire planet. You can walk the entire planet depending on how big it is.
Well, that's pretty cool.
It creates its own life. It creates its
But
own
I mean,
vegetation.
Is there any reason to it other than just to like fly a ship and explore planets? Or I mean, is there
I think there's an end game goal to get to the center of the universe, but you get stuff on the planet and you mine it and
So you like collect
claim
mine it?
resources.
Yeah, you claim resources to better your ship to get further in.
I saw a bunch of stuff about it, and I just kept thinking this sounds like Minecraft with spaceships. I didn't.
Like every time, like they showed on the Colbert Late Night. That's what he's on now, right?
Yep.
Stephen Colbert. They showed a
Yeah.
live play of it, and they named the planet Colbert, the Colbert planet, and they went down there and started naming all the animals that were on it, like different Stephen Colbert names, and that exists in the game. If you find it, that's the planet that they discovered and made. Who knows if it exactly how it's going to work, but people are super excited about it.
So it's
Sounds-
like the Oregon Trail in space.
Oh, that's
that what
cool.
it is?
That's a good
Essentially,
idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
You find something, you stake your claim, and that's it.
Is it going to be hard to cross rivers? Well, can you die of dysentery?
Always float. I always try to float it.
And let's see, Division released a season pass trailer.
Did
about
they?
all
I
the-
didn't see this yet.
Yeah, it's all the three. One of them's underground, and one of them's called one of them's like a horde mode kind of thing, where just a wave.
It's like
and
Halo
wave
5 firefight.
Yeah, exactly like Halo 5 firefight. So that's pretty cool. Check out the Division. And there was a funny story about misquoting advertisements.
Oh, I saw this. Cragg, did you hear about this?
What? No, what is this?
Okay, so the Division, they put out this advertisement called "Blows Destiny Out of the Water." That was a quote from Game Zone. But what actually happened, what the end of the quote is, in the online beta, because Division had more online beta subscribers than Destiny did when it first came out. So they were saying that, but they stopped it, so it makes it sound like the Division's way better than Destiny, even though nobody's even played the Division, because it's actually not out for reviewers until March 8th.
Oh,
Nobody
cool.
plays it until it comes out.
That's cool because usually like
People get it early.
People get it early. Like fucking PewDiePie gets every game early.
Yeah, but that's not happening. So everybody plays it March 8th, which is today when this podcast comes out.
Oh yeah, that's true. I'll have to
Yeah,
actually
I
have
got the-
money to get it.
I got this gold subscription. It's pretty cool. In my last little video game related news, there's a documentary called out Man vs. Snake that's supposed to be the first guy to make 1 billion points in Snake.
Snake.
It's like King of Kong,
Not the cell phone game, correct?
not the cell phone game. No,
Okay.
he didn't do it on his T9. That's a calculator.
I was like, wait
Yeah.
a minute.
I was thinking of the LG chocolate. That's what I was thinking of.
TI-83?
Texas Instrument right there. But yeah, and it's supposed to be really cool. It's kind of the successor to King of Kong, which was kind of awesome.
Cragg, you were a fan of that movie, right?
Yeah, I did like
It
that
was a good movie.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna watch this one. I haven't seen it yet, and I'll let you know when I see it.
Cragg, did you ever play the original King Kong? Or I mean,
Donkey Kong?
Donkey Kong. King
I
Kong.
did. I did play it. And I'll
how
tell
were
you what,
you at it?
I was terrible at
I
it.
was too.
Oh, it's so hard.
Was it anything like the King Kong in Pixels starring Adam Sandler?
I don't know because I've
You mean
never
Donkey
watched that
Kong?
movie. I couldn't
Nobody's
finish.
seen that
You
movie.
did what
I
I did. You said King Kong.
I did. He's the same thing, right?
Yeah, that's what he's based on.
Donkey Kong was just King Kong with a shirt.
Would tie.
Oh, yeah. That's all he had was a tie. Well, that's kind of disgusting. What does he need a tie for?
Cover up his.
Oh, wait,
yeah.
to separate himself from King Kong. That's what he needed the tie for.
And then he had a whole family, Diddy Kong and those other Kongs.
But yeah, Man versus Snake.
What was the girl's name? Diddy Kong? What was the
Dixie Kong.
Dixie Kong?
Oh,
That's it.
I
Okay.
thought
then
it
there
was
was,
P
like-
Diddy.
This is
All
why,
right.
this
That
is
was
why Craig Gregg's here today.
I was gonna say Paris Diddy, right? That's for short for Paris Diddy.
All right, so that's all the movie news. I got other
That's
like
not all the movie news.
well,
that's all
no,
the game news.
that's all the game news. I got some movie news as well. So
You want to start it out or no?
give me some. You give me some.
All right. Well, this isn't movie news, but it's based on a movie star.
Uh-oh.
This happened this week, and I don't know what to do. There's apparently a thing being made right now by a chocolatier named Jen Lindsay Clark. It's called the Cumber Bunny. It's motherfucking Easter Bunny, like fucking edible Easter Bunny, with the face of Benedict Cumberbatch, because that needed to happen.
Oh my
I'm pulling
god!
up an image of it right now.
Look at it.
It looks like
Doctor-
him with ears.
It's motherfucking
Why
Doctor
does that
Strange
exist?
Bunny.
Why does that exist?
There's fans. There's apparently fans. Of
I'm
him.
sure there are women who are fucking in love with this thing.
Doesn't he look like a snake person?
I don't understand why they find him attractive. He's very creepy looking to me.
I don't understand why his face is supposed to be on the body of a bunny.
Because people are weird. I don't
That's
know.
it. That's the best way to describe it. People are weird. And I think the internet brings all the weird people together.
There's probably I'm surprised there's not a Benedict Cumberbatch emoji yet. I mean, I'm just saying. It's like, it's insane, right?
Yeah.
Like, people's love of this guy just because he played Sherlock Holmes. Really?
Yeah, let me ask you that on the subject of Sherlock Holmes. I liked the Robert Downey Jr. Jude Law movies.
I thought they were awesome.
Both of them were good, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
you
I
see
liked
them?
them. I
Yeah,
liked them. They were good.
I thought there was nothing wrong. Everybody bitched about the second one. I was like, what's your problem? It's just
What?
like the first one.
Yeah.
It was awesome. He's Benedict Cumberbatch. The BBC version's better, right, than the movies? Or
Maybe?
is it different? Is it just because it's
so
different?
It's so different. It's like, it's basically modern Victorian Sherlock Holmes is all it is. The
Yeah.
Victorian version that's all like just really smart. It's just him in a modern world, and that's legitimately it. And I guess people love Martin Freeman and Benedict Cumberbatch together so much that that's what does it.
No, I think what it is the women are huge fans of Downton Abbey, and it falls right in line
just
with
the
that.
women.
That's exactly what it is.
Sexism,
I
101.
was just gonna say that's what it
Listen,
is.
I really liked the BBC Sherlock Holmes. I think they're all really good.
Yeah, they're
The
good.
Best Man one, where he's at the wedding and he's recalling his old case.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was awesome. And let me say this, Moriarty is way better in the BBC version than he is in the movie.
Sure.
I liked him. I thought he was kind of like nuts and off-hinged, and I don't even know where off-hinged is definitely not a word. Unhinged. But I don't know where he's going and how he survived.
I don't know.
Because that
man.
was the end of the spoiler alert for the end of season 3
yeah.
is he was on videotape saying he was alive. That could be real. That could not be real.
The
But I thought Moriarty was that was portrayed much better in the BBC version.
the most I know about that show is that it's written by Stephen Moffat, who was also like the head writer on Doctor Who. And you know, I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. I watched some of the Sherlock, the BBC. It didn't do anything for me, honestly. I was just like,
They're kind of the thing I liked about them is they were like movies. It
well,
wasn't
yeah,
a series.
yeah.
It was like there could be a bad movie and a good
It's
movie.
basically
but you get
miniseries,
3. Yeah, you get 3, and they're like an hour and a half long.
Right. Did you ever watch Luther? with
I
Idris
started
Elba?
to watch Luther,
So
and I
good.
heard it was really good. I never got into it. Same thing with The Wire. Everybody says The Wire is amazing. I try to watch it.
The nice thing about Luther is that it's very much like Sherlock, so it's like 4 episodes that are like an hour, and that's it. So
Well,
it doesn't take a lot of time.
We'll have to check that one out.
There's this one, the second season, I believe. It's all about like a dude who's like way into D&D, and so he spoiler alert, he kills based on the dice roll. It's really cool though. It's really well done. But Cragg, have you ever watched Luther?
I have not.
Do you know who Idris Elba is?
I don't know who that is. Is that the dude that was in Facebook?
Dude, that was in Facebook?
That Facebook movie?
Dude,
No.
Jesse Eisenberg? No.
Yeah.
That's
Isn't he
that-
playing Luther in something?
He's playing Lex Luthor.
Oh, okay.
Superman.
Whoa! Speaking of Batman vs Superman, though, I've got
Tangent.
the
Anyway, Idris Elba, remember on The Office?
Yeah, I know
Uh,
Office.
Charles Minor.
Yeah.
You remember Charles Minor?
Yeah, I know
That was
him.
That's Idris Elba.
Oh,
He's
all right.
awesome.
also
Yeah,
he
he
has
is
a
good.
really thick English accent.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
he was also in Prometheus. Don't forget about that classic, Jim.
Ooh, we talked about that last week.
Oh,
Just
Is
turn
that the
left.
one
just
with,
turn left or right.
That's with what's her face there, Sandra Bullock, right?
Nope, that's Gravity.
Oh, wrong. No, wait a minute. No,
Where
she was
are
in
you?
she was in some movie about the future or something like that, or she's seeing some shit and it comes
Oh,
back.
Premonition.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Oh,
thinking.
yeah. Okay. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I thought he was talking about Gravity because it was in space.
Gravity was good though, right?
Was it? See, that's another one that I didn't get it. Like, everybody was so excited about it, and I was just like, cool, Sandra Bullock's floating in space, and George Clooney dies. It's like,
The opening shot is kind of amazing. That's all that one shot for like 7 or 8 minutes, and it's going around the ship. I'm still unsure how that happened. One clean cut.
Yeah.
Spectre did that. The new James Bond did that. The whole
I still haven't
beginning.
seen that either.
I just watched the beginning of it. And not that it's bad. I never got around to seeing it, but it's all big one shot.
Is it wrong for me to say that, like, Daniel Craig, James Bonds are to me? Like,
Oh, I love them.
I
think
just
they're great.
like
I think they're-
everyone. Go ahead, Craig.
No, I think they're like extremely generic as far as when it comes to an action movie.
Is it just me, or was Skyfall not like boring?
Yeah, it was. I thought it was.
God, I love Skyfall.
It's like 3 hours of nothing happening.
I don't know. I've always been attached to Pierce Brosnan, so that's my thing.
I mean, I don't know. I just don't get it. Like, I don't get the appeal of those Daniel Craig. And I know people love him as James Bond, but I was just like,
I haven't seen Spectre, but I liked all the other ones. I thought Quantum of Solace was probably my favorite.
My favorite was easily Casino Royale, the first one, but
Yeah.
I mean, after that, I was just like, okay, I get it.
I think what I liked about him is they were all connected. That didn't really happen in other James Bond movies.
I thought, weren't they all technically supposed to be connected? All the
they
old
were
ones, though?
supposed to be, but it was all loose and like the stuff carried like literally the beginning of Quantum Solace is the end of Casino Royale.
James Bond is basically like the Doctor from Doctor Who, right? Like,
Yeah.
every time he's recast, he's still technically the James Bond. He's just
Yeah. That's
okay.
pretty much what it is.
Because that always threw me for a loop too. I never really understood that. If
The different versions.
yeah, it's like, is it supposed to be the same guy? Or
I mean, it's kind of that way that's the way Mad Max was. Craig, did you watch Mad Max Fury Road?
I have not seen it yet.
it's good.
Get your life together.
You need to watch a man shred guitar on top of a car. It's the best thing in the world through the whole movie.
Yeah, it's practical. But anyway, that's the way Mad Max was. That's the way George Miller said. Is like
Right.
Mad Max is not Mel Gibson. Mad Max is whoever fills Mad Max's shoes.
Yeah, and I understand that. I just didn't know if that was the way it was with James Bond.
That is the way of James Bond,
because
yeah.
I didn't know if it was. Speaking of James Bond, can I say the best James Bond movie is Kingsman Secret Service?
Yeah.
It's fucking so good. Did you see that?
When did that
Craig?
come out?
Like what? Last year? 2 years ago? Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, it's. I mean, it's based on a comic, but
Craig,
it's
I'm gonna
so
give you a
good.
list of movies that you should watch.
John Wick and Kingsman Secret Service need to be at the top,
And then Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah,
You need to watch
yeah.
all 3 of those movies sometime this weekend.
and you will fucking love.
Do you
every minute
like
of it.
action movies?
Yeah, I like action movies.
These are like smart action movies.
I
in my
like
opinion.
I like Viking movies.
Oh gosh.
Have you seen the show Vikings?
I love the show
It's
Vikings.
fucking really good, isn't it?
That is a
Is
great
Floki
show.
your favorite character? Because he should be.
Loki.
Floki is the best.
Do it. I know you want to do it.
What?
You were gonna do an impression, but you held
What?
back.
No, I was just Floki.
Okay, I thought
Yeah.
it was more than that.
Loki-
that
I've
was
never
Loki
seen
is
Vikings.
awesome.
Is it good?
Oh,
It's
it is a
really
great show.
It's a great show.
That
It
is an
really
awesome
well done.
show.
It's-
Is it better than the Black Sails, the pirate one?
I've not watched that show, so I can't. I honestly couldn't tell you.
I haven't seen that show either, but I heard that show is good. Honestly, though, I've not seen a better show than Vikings.
I'll check that out.
Vikings
really.
is it's really well done, and it's not like super long. It's like 10 episode seasons. So
Yeah.
and there's only 2, 3.
Classic-
It's on the third or it's on the
classic
fourth.
Game of Thrones
It's on the
style.
fourth.
Well, no, I actually like it better than Game of Thrones because
But I mean,
well,
Game
you
of
know
Thro-
how I feel about
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, so I
Yeah.
love it compared to Game of Thrones. But
well, I mean, the fact that they don't have a bunch of different stories going on,
Yeah.
it's
mean-
easy to follow, and it's got Vikings in it. I mean,
It's
what more
got-
could you ask?
one of the greatest. I mean, I called it, but when the Floki Ragnar thing at the end of season 2
Yes.
was one of the best things on TV.
Yep.
It was awesome. It's just so good. It's so well done.
I appreciate you not spoiling that for me.
Yeah,
buddy.
no, I wouldn't.
I'm
I mean,
gonna watch it
wouldn't
for
because
sure.
it's totally worth seeing it.
And they don't hold back on a lot of stuff either. It's
And-
really cool.
It's AMC, right?
Yes.
Yes.
No, it's History
no,
Channel.
It's History Channel.
History
It's
Channel.
actually History Channel,
Yep.
and it's.
Is it
fucking good.
is it like is it kind of like not like Walking Dead, but like do they show a lot kind of like
Oh
Walking
yeah,
Dead
they
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Yeah, they
Okay.
do.
There's
So they
some
don't- they don't-
heavy duty shit happening.
Okay.
But yeah, just you got to check it out because it is a really great show. And like I said, it's not super long. There's not a lot of episodes, so you can catch up pretty quick.
What do you want to get into? You want to get into some DC news real quick?
DC, I love DC.
All right, you got something, but I got something. It turns out Green Lantern is not going to be in
Well, you know
the
what?
first Justice League.
You know what I think it's probably is that they couldn't figure out which one.
Yeah,
to
well,
do.
they couldn't figure out who to do it and when to do it, and yeah, they probably want the solo movie to come out first. And rumor is he's going to appear in the second one.
Yeah,
But yeah, so it's probably going to be what? Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, and Cyborg.
and Cyborg. Yeah,
That's the first cast of the Justice League.
which is kind of upsetting because I love Green Lantern. I mean, I love most DC
I'd
characters,
like-
but
To me, it'd be like an X-Force movie first.
right,
Like they introduced an X-Force movie, and then all of a sudden, here's Deadpool. You want to see all of Deadpool.
right.
You don't want to see Deadpool for a third of the movie. You want to see an entire movie.
Yeah.
Because how good was that? You know,
Yeah,
you saw it, right?
Oh yeah, it was excellent.
Excellent. Deadpool. We talked about that for like
we're still talking about it. It's fucking. It's 3 weeks
4
later.
weeks later. Yeah, we're still talking about it. Amazing.
But the thing about it is like, I'm already super sad that they didn't take Grant Gustin and just put him in the movies along with Stephen Amell as Oliver Queen and just have them be part of the Justice League.
Yeah.
I know they're trying to keep them separate, which could kind of be awesome if they ever did like DC Earth 1 meets Earth 2 versus
Yeah.
each other. Like they could actually have them fight each other. That'd be super cool. But Grant Gustin is awesome on that show, The Flash. I know that neither of you really watched that, but
I like
he's-
his name.
Grant Gustin.
It's a good name.
Yeah, it's already
Gustin.
it's already a comic book name.
It is.
It's
Grant
got the-
Gustin.
But it's just like they're so good. Those two are so good that it's kind of sad that they recast. The only way I like it is if they make him like Bart Allen, so he's a different Flash or something. That way they could still technically have him as Barry Allen.
Cragg, we don't know much about the Flash.
No,
He's throwing out names, man.
Bart
Yeah.
Allen.
Grant Gustin.
Bart Allen is
Grant Gustin the actor?
grandson-
Or is he? See, that's
Oh,
the
no.
problem. Is I don't know who's an actor and who's a character
Grant
name.
Gustin is the actor.
Okay.
He plays Barry Allen.
Okay.
The Flash.
Grant Gustin as
Bart
Barry
Allen.
Allen.
Bart Allen is Barry Allen's grandson.
Okay.
that sounds like a character too, right? Yeah, that is.
Then there's
We like
Wally. There's also Wally West.
Oh,
Wally West is a Flash.
what
as
is with
well.
all these like two?
Well, that's how they do it, man.
Wally West and Grant Gustin.
You know you love it.
I'm Calvin Caffey. Of course I do.
Cragg Gragg over here.
Oh,
That's a C and a G.
Yeah, but still, it's ag ag. Or rag rag.
So you had Batman Superman stuff,
I have the first initial review.
which is spoiler free, right?
It's spoiler free. Yeah, it's just quick notes. It was written by Anthony Bresnikan of Entertainment Weekly. He got to see it a little early and did an initial review. He had 6 notes about it, so I'll run through them real quick. He said, number 1, if you loved Man of Steel, you'll love Batman vs. Superman.
How'd you feel about Man of Steel?
I liked Man of Steel
I liked
a lot.
Man of
This
Steel.
first time I watched it, not so much because I fell asleep in it because I was super tired. I'd worked like 3 days in a row before that and stayed up all day.
I mean, I like there was actual Superman fight.
Yeah.
That was how Superman should fight. It felt like a comic book because all the other ones is like, I mean, what's considered the best one? Superman 2 is considered the best original Superman, the one with Zod.
Maybe I still think the first Superman's better,
Yeah,
but
what really happened? Like
Lex Luthor,
kind of like a slow punch. And
Lex Luthor was going to take over the fucking realty with earthquakes. Those are his plans.
Oh, that was
most
super.
of the time.
He likes to use earthquakes as devices
It's
to take
true.
over
It's
the world.
very true. Cragg, how did you feel? Did you like Superman 4 with Richard Pryor?
Oh my god.
Quest for peace, man.
I really wasn't a fan of any of the old ones. I mean,
Superman Returns was super boring.
oh yeah,
I still think Brandon Routh was awesome though. I thought he looked like him, and I think
He looked
was
just
totally
like
fine.
Superman. But yeah,
He just had nothing to do.
I didn't like the super baby.
Oh,
That was kind of the worst. But yeah, okay. What's the second note?
all right. So second note was if you didn't like the ending of Man of Steel, which a lot of people didn't because he killed Zod and
Come on.
and he basically tore apart Metropolis and killed people in that. They said, but if he said if you didn't like the end of that Batman versus Superman may redeem that for you,
Well, that's good.
which is right. Like that's the whole thing, right? That we've all been suspecting since the beginning. Is Batman's mad, and that's why he attacks Superman.
Yeah.
He's mad that he.
Well,
fucking
see,
let all those
Batman
people die.
only knows what Superman did through the press.
Yeah,
He doesn't know Superman personally. Doesn't know why he did it.
right.
I was 100% on board with the ending. I thought Zod made it very, very clear that if he didn't do something right now, he was gonna wipe everybody out. It
Right.
didn't matter. It didn't matter that Superman destroyed the city to stop him, because if he didn't stop him, he would have leveled the entire city, because he just would have done it for spite.
Cragg, did you watch Man of Steel?
I do, but I do not remember it.
Okay, I was gonna ask how you felt about the ending, but if you don't remember,
People were so hung up that Superman doesn't kill people that they couldn't get past the fact that they set the entire scene up for it to be like he had no other choice.
which is kind of it's also sort of a newish origin story for him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Superman doesn't kill later, but
Hope starts with an 8, stupid.
but for the time being, you know, if he kills someone, maybe that's what makes him realize, hey, I need to not do that again. That really,
He seemed pretty tore up about
yeah,
it.
that's
That was my only complaint about the movie. He was like, no, and the next thing he was like, hey, here's your drone.
right. Yes,
He's super casual about
I
it.
think it's supposed to have been some time, a little bit of time had passed, but it was weird.
It was maybe about 45 seconds later.
All right, so third note was if you don't like the grim, dark feeling of the DC movies and how they've been for the past couple of years, then you're probably not going to like Batman vs. Superman because it's pretty grim and dark. But I like that about the DC movies. The Marvel movies to me sometimes are too jokey and a little bit too much like, we're all lighthearted having fun. Fuck.
Yeah.
The whole world's about to end. It doesn't matter. Let's make some Joss Whedon jokes. It's like, you know, it's.
Well, I think that's why a lot of parents were upset with Deadpool.
Well,
because they weren't expecting that.
Yeah, they were like,
I don't know how you could not expect that when they were explicitly for months like, this is a rated R movie. Don't bring your kids because it's not going to be what you think it is. And they're like, how the fuck did this happen? This is not what I thought it was. It's like, well, we've been telling you for months.
he is in your face about it the entire time. Like, hey, this is not it. This is not it. This is not it. But my thing with the Marvel movies is I'm fine with the jokiness because that's how comics read.
Right.
Spider-Man never. It doesn't matter how much in danger the Spider-Man's got a one-liner waiting in the wings.
That's totally fine.
But
I think
I like the different tone because, like you said, it sets them apart. You
It
can tell
does.
that this is this and
and
this
also
is that.
if you read the comics, which I read some of the Batmans, Supermans and stuff, a lot of the DC comics are written like gritty like that. They're not really jokey. I mean, there are
Yeah.
some that are, but those are, you know, like the Justice League movie or the Justice League comics when they're all together are more jokey, but when they stand alone, a lot of them are not like that. You know, they're very like just serious about, and that's just, I think that's been a big thing with DC and Marvel for years now is like DC's super serious and Marvel's really jokey. So
Is there a superhero who hasn't lost his parents?
that's hard.
I don't think there is. Spider-Man, no parents. Batman, no parents.
Superman.
No parents.
Well, Superman technically had parents though. He was just adopted.
well, lost his parents, like his actual parents.
They sent him away.
But his parents are
but
actually
he
dead
never knew them until later. So I mean,
I guess-
he technically had his parents as he grew up,
until Kevin
which is what
Costner.
made him Boy Scout. You know what I mean? Yeah, but even that, like,
Why did Kevin Costner just stand in the tornado?
why didn't he just let him save him? Who the fuck cares? Like, that was another thing.
He was like, "Sorry guys, I got to be in Twister 2."
That was a thing a lot of people had a problem with in Man of Steel, and I could totally see it. Was like Kevin Costner basically the whole time was like, "Don't fucking help people, you piece of shit." It's like, are you sure? It's like,
I think I should help people, Dad.
I'm pretty
no,
powerful. Nothing can really hurt me, so
people will be mad at you. Why?
people will know. It's like, okay.
Who cares? All right.
Anyway, sorry. That So apparently, note 4 is that Wonder Woman is fearsome, which is awesome. I love Wonder Woman.
I don't know enough about Wonder Woman.
You don't know that she's made from clay?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's her original. That's her original origin. Is that she's
I just knew she was
made
tall
from clay.
and
Who
she lived on
molded
an
her?
island with a bunch of women. The Amazons.
Themyscira?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're welcome. I love Wonder Woman. I think she's awesome. I'm pretty excited to see a movie where Chris Pine plays Steve Trevor. That's exciting.
Wait, what?
You don't know about this?
No,
The new Wonder Woman movie, man. I'm pretty excited because I like Chris Pine. I think he's awesome.
he was best Captain Kirk. What was the problem with Into the Darkness?
I don't know. I loved it.
Great.
Best Benedict Cumberbatch role of all time. He can be fucking what's his Khan? He
Yeah.
can be Khan all he wants. I don't care. He's better Khan than that original guy. That guy was overacting like a motherfucker. I said it. Fight me. All right, so note 5 is there is a moment between Batman and Superman that will even make the most cynical person tear up. So apparently it gets pretty. You think it's like, what's up, Bats? Let's get it on.
What? I don't know what that means.
It could mean anything, right? Like,
Maybe it's not so much emotional like fist bumping. Maybe it's more like something from the comics that people want to
that's
see.
just super.
Like a fist pumping type thing. Like, yeah.
Like what?
What? Well, we got the last one. Now, his last comment was that fans will have plenty to talk about after this movie and probably fight about because there's going to be a lot of problems, maybe, or a lot of who should have won or what was wrong with this, or
Well, that's always when a movie's really good too, when you can get a lot of people talking about it afterwards.
It's true. It's tracking right now to do about 150 million opening weekend, which is pretty strong.
Yeah.
I mean, its pre-sales are pretty good.
I'm excited. We'll be there.
Well, yeah, we will.
Like another movie that was super talked about, got us talking, was Force Awakens, and that comes out very, very soon, April 1st on digital, and April 15th on Blu-ray. I'm
Cragg,
excited because there's supposed to be some good deleted scenes on there.
Are you going to be picking a copy of that up, Craig?
Of course I am. Are they going to be releasing this as like a set? I'm assuming they're going to be releasing this as a set, not just The Force Awakens. That's just the way I've seen them do Star Wars.
Oh,
movies
like a
before.
7-disc set?
Oh,
no,
collection.
they'll
It's
release
always
it single.
collections.
They'll release it single.
You know what I think they should do? I think they should do like the James Bond movies did, where you can buy that big case for them, and as they come out, you put them in.
Yeah,
and
that
they
would be
fit.
cool.
That would be really cool. Although I guess they don't know how many they're going to make with all the like standalones and like Rogue One and the Han Solo movie and
Han Solo. But yeah,
They're scheduled for like what 9 right now, aren't they?
well, they're going
Yeah.
to episode 9, and then there's also like standalones. So there's going to be like a Boba Fett movie,
Right,
like a
right.
Han Solo movie.
I think just the series is going to 9.
Yeah.
well, they'll do it in trilogies: prequel trilogy, original trilogy, new trilogy. I guarantee you they'll do another trilogy after that because Disney
Oh,
owns it,
yeah.
and Disney's just going to do that
They
forever.
just keep going.
I'm not going to complain. If I'm
No.
watching Star Wars when I'm fucking 75, who cares?
Yep.
It's going to be awesome every
Do you
time.
think that's eventually that Star Wars characters are going to fight Marvel characters because they own both?
Probably. There'll probably be some crazy crossover event.
Kylo Ren has to fight fucking the Vision.
Here's the thing. I haven't looked for... I don't really watch special features
Yeah.
I haven't watched him in a long
The
time.
last special feature that I really watched was the Batmobile documentary on the Dark Knight Rises DVD.
Yeah, that was cool.
Because it was super awesome, and it was. I mean, plus Batman's like a huge thing for me. So
But I am looking forward to the full-length documentary about the making of the movie on this. I want to watch that.
oh yeah, that'll be really.
I
cool.
want to see everything was made and who was cast and why they were picked. And there's supposed to be some cool deleted scenes, like I said. And I'm glad there's not a director's cut that shows that his mind's in the right place.
There's going to be a director's cut of Batman vs Superman rated R.
The
You
R
hear about
version.
this?
Nope.
Yeah, they're going to have it rated R because it's super violent, apparently.
I'm looking forward to it. I just want to see. Look, if Batman Superman has Batman fighting Superman, done. I'm there.
Yeah, right.
That's all I want to see. It can mix things up. It can change things around. Who gives a fuck?
It's still going to be Batman fighting Superman
Yeah, and in the
in
end,
a fucking badass armored suit. It's
in the end,
That is pretty slick.
that's pretty awesome. And
so, you got anything else movie news related right now?
so as we were sitting down on the podcast, we were pulling up some stuff, double checking our stories. Literally 30 minutes before this podcast, apparently Sylvester Stallone was seen on the Guardians
Oh.
of the Galaxy 2.
That's
set.
right. Tango and Cash are back, baby.
Oh my
I'm
god.
so excited.
Did you like Guardians of the Galaxy? You're all right with it?
Yeah, I liked
Chris
it. I mean,
Pratt
I
was
liked
amazing,
it. It was
right?
a good movie. I liked it.
It was kind of like the weirder Avengers, essentially.
If you don't say that
Yeah.
Chris Pratt was amazing, Greg, we will fight. Because Chris Pratt's amazing.
Oh, he
in
was
everything
good.
he does.
And actually,
Okay.
I was not expecting him to look the way that he looked when he was in that movie.
That dude cut some weight.
Yeah, he did. He cut everything.
He was in Parks and Rec, and he was in the first episode.
Of course, he was amazing.
Well, no, he was in the first episode when he was in Star-Lord shape. Like, the last
Oh,
season,
yeah.
he was super fat, and then he came back, and they were, like, in London.
And he was like,
He
how
was
did
just
he-
casually...
Adam Scott's favorite. Yeah, he says, "How did you lose all the weight? I just stopped drinking beer. How much beer did you drink? A lot."
In my opinion, when he came back to the show, he was good. In that one, I felt like he was,
yeah,
his mind was kind of checked out.
yeah.
He wasn't as Andy as he normally was.
That's very true.
He
Yeah.
was kind of just like, "Yep, I just got the beer." But when
well,
he came back, he was more himself again.
yeah.
But he was kind of just like,
Well, they didn't really have him in there as much while he was filming that.
Yeah.
So,
but
it
but
wasn't-
like I'm saying, in that
Yeah,
episode
yeah.
particularly, he was just like, he was probably just fucking tired
I'm sure. I
because
mean,
he's flying back and forth and shit. But yeah, Sylvester Stallone, he was seen getting out of Chris Pratt's limousine, going into the hotel that they're staying in.
what if it turned out they were just really big friends?
Who cares? I mean, I'm okay with. I like Sylvester Stallone.
I like
He's all right.
Sylvester Stallone.
What
I
if
don't
he
have a
was
problem.
talking to him about filming the new Rambo?
Or he was talking to him about being in Expendables 4.
Oh, that's a good thought.
Is Expendables 4 happening?
Has Kurt Russell been in Expendables yet? Was he in the third one? I don't remember.
Corey, let me ask you something about the Expendables.
Yeah.
First one,
I like the first one.
second one,
It's all right.
third one.
Have you seen it?
That's my point exactly. What was up with all the weird random CG in that movie?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Because the first one, I liked the first one because it was super practical. Like it
Yeah.
felt like the gunshots were real and the explosions were real. And
I actually saw that movie in theaters twice.
Stone Cold being on fire was real. All that stuff, like the fights felt real. But then the beginning of Expendables 3, they get off that helicopter and they blow it up, but it looks like
Yeah.
something out of Call of Duty 2. It's like the helicopter just blows up and then just kind of sits there. It looks really.
What about Kellen Lutz like being a really good motorcycle driver? Like so dumb.
What's the state of our fucking action heroes now?
If
Like,
Kellen
Lutz is the
He
one.
was in fucking Twilight. That's not an action star. Just because there was one action scene at the end of those movies does not make you an action star. I don't want to fucking see Edward Cullen drive Expendables 4.
But yeah,
I just don't. I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know. Those movies. It started out good. The second one was kind of like, and then it just fucking went to shit.
yeah.
Which is sad. Because did you see Furious 7? Jason Statham lit the screen up in that.
Jason Statham. I like Jason Statham. All right.
Him and The Rock. If they just made Furious
I like-
8 or whatever
I like
was
him as-
just those two fighting the whole movie, I'd be into it.
I like Jason Statham as a transporter. That's the terrible Jason Statham.
That was. It didn't
Oh my
even
God.
sound British. Or
Apologies. I don't even know what to do.
just kill yourself.
Yeah.
You sound sounded almost like Mark Wahlberg was trying to say that.
Well,
Hey, I heard Jason Statham he's a transporter.
Have you seen Jason
go
Statham?
Go tell your mother for me.
Corey, remember?
Craig, I don't know if you know this, but Nick can't talk sometimes, and that's what happens. Is that he tries
It
to
just
say
turns into that.
he tries
what
to
we just
say
saw?
Robert Redford, and he goes, "Ready?"
It happened in the last podcast.
It was
Check
one
it
of the
out.
greatest things of all time.
He's just trying to trick you by saying a name. That's what it is.
Tony Dyson, who was the builder of the original R2D2, who I consider the father of R2D2,
Oh yeah,
he passed away today
I heard about that.
at age 68. So just quick, like he was part of our childhood. I mean, he built R2D2. So I just wanted to say he will be missed. You know what I'm saying?
Did you just do beep boop beep boop?
He did. That was very touching. So, back to Batman news. A sort of Batman news. Gotham is back, and they're doing the Wrath of the Villains. And they actually just had an episode with Mr. Freeze, which is based on the Heart of Ice storyline from the animated series, which is what kind of reignited Mr. Freeze as a character.
Has that show gotten better? Because I
It's-
tried watching that
It's
first
much
season
better now. It really is.
compared to the first season, because I want to say I got halfway through the first season or 3/4 of the way through, and I wasn't feeling it at all.
It's gotten much better.
It felt
It's
like a
really
cop
good
movie.
now.
It felt like a drama. Cop
That's what it
movie.
was, and now they decided, hey, we should probably put Batman villains in this instead of just being like Jim Gordon's a cop in Gotham, and then be like, guess what? He's got a crime to solve this week. They're like, hey, let's put characters that matter in, and so
Well, yeah, it's about time. So what? They're on the third season.
this is it's the second. They're coming back for the break of the second. They had
Gotcha,
their
okay.
mid-season finale, and so the first episode was, like I was saying, was the Mr. Freeze episode. And it's actually really good. They brought Nora, his wife, in, who he's trying to save, and they had him show up. So they're bringing a lot of the well-known villains in, and so they're talking about Gotham because they had a Joker sort of thing at the beginning of this season, and now they're talking about later on we're going to have another Joker because in the Gotham world right now they're considering the Joker as more of a idea than really a single person.
Like somebody robbing a bank puts a ski mask on.
Yeah, basically, like
Yeah.
somebody was just influenced by whoever did it first, and then it becomes So they're gonna have they might have a female Joker, which is gonna be Lori Petty. Anybody know who that is?
Who's that?
Fucking Tank Girl, bro.
Oh
She's
God!
already been in it.
Uh-oh.
So anyway,
That
she's
movie was terrible, right?
She might. Yeah, it wasn't great.
Oh, what? That's like the first comic book movie.
Well, I don't know if it was the first, but it.
Oh wait, the first one was The Phantom, starring what's his name?
Well, there was also
What's his fucking
there
name?
was also Superman, which was 1978.
No, I'm talking about like they tried to bring it back in like the
Okay.
90s. Remember The Phantom? Who
Phantom
was
with
it?
Billy Zane?
Billy Zane.
Of
There it
course.
is. Remember The Shadow with Alec Baldwin?
Oh, how could I forget?
Oh, what happened? And then Blade came along. Thank
Oh,
God.
yeah?
Thank God for Blade.
Remember when they made a Blade reference in Deadpool, and
They
he was in Blade 3? Ryan Reynolds was.
Blade 3 is the worst one, right?
Hey,
Remember when they brought
whatever.
Chris Christopherson back from the dead? He's a zombie
Yeah.
now.
I don't. It's whatever. I mean, it was just a silly action movie.
I like the second one, Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
Blade 2. That was the best one.
Norman Reedus was in that one, right?
He was. It
Yeah.
was a good one.
That was was he?
So was Ron
he
Perlman.
Was he a Boondock Saint? No.
He was not.
Oh, damn it.
He had,
Oh,
he had a
speaking-
crossbow.
Speaking of that, real quick, the Boondock Saints 3 is confirmed by Norman Reedus.
Do we need Boondock Saints 2?
I liked Boondock. I didn't mind that movie. I thought it was pretty good.
I thought the first one was what a cult movie is supposed to be, and then the second one was like, hey, I remember Boondock Saints? It was really good. This is kind of the same thing. That's how I felt about it. I felt like I felt like the Ghostbusters movie, which we're about to talk about. That's how I felt about Boondock Saints too.
I don't know.
I felt like it was unnecessary.
I thought it was cool. I liked it. I mean, it's just
It's always cool to see that bring those characters back, but I feel like they should bring them back in the right way, like the Evil Dead series.
Well-
Don't make another Evil Dead movie. Make that series, because I haven't seen the series. It's done, and I'm gonna watch it when it comes out, like in its entirety. But I heard it was, if you like the Evil Dead movies, it's supposed to be like spot on what it's supposed to be. You know?
I also liked that dude though, and he's always good in everything he's in. The dude that played the like Mexican gunfighter or whatever. What is that guy's name?
All I can think of is Danny Trejo.
shit.
No, he's that dude.
Hey, we were thinking of the same guy. Mexican gunfighter, Danny
That-
Trejo. That's it.
No, he plays like he's like a well, he's not. No, he's not a gunfighter. Sorry, he's just that like Mexican like fighting champion on that ship when they're coming back. Do you know what I'm talking about from Big Dog Saints 2?
Oh yeah,
That dude, I always think he's really good. He's just a really good character actor. I can't think of his name. It's gonna piss me off when I see it.
I'm gonna bring it up.
But he
I know
made
exactly
that,
who you're talking about.
He made that movie even like good. That's what I thought. Like
Clifton Collins
Jr.
Clifton
That's
Collins
him.
Jr.
He's always awesome.
Who's that guy? Bring him up. Let me see.
I'm gonna bring him up. You'll recognize
him. He's a character actor. He's in a bunch of stuff. He just doesn't get a lot of, they never get a lot of recognition. But there he is.
Oh yeah, I like that guy.
He's always awesome in everything he's in, and he was so great in that movie. But anyway, that's just a quick thing.
And quick thing, my favorite character actor, Ben Foster.
Oh yeah,
that guy should win an Oscar. He is awesome in everything. He's 100% convincing to me in everything he plays in.
Oh yeah, that guy's really good.
Yeah, I see that. I can
like
see
whoever, whatever he, to me, it's just like I get it.
Wasn't he in that Columbine movie or something? Some movie about him shooting up like kids in a school.
God, I don't remember. Let me pull up his discography. He was in The Mechanic with Jason Statham. He's in Lone Survivor. Super good.
I heard Jason Statham was a mechanic.
I heard Jason Statham was a mechanic. Pandorum, which was Dead Space the movie, and nobody mentioned. That was awesome. Dennis Quaid, classic. He was in 310 to Yuma. Alpha Dog, he was in that.
He was on My Name is Earl.
He was in Hostage with Bruce Willis. Remember the crazy fucking guy who lit himself on fire at the end? Spoiler alert.
There it is. I think that's the name of the movie. Bang Bang, You're Dead.
Bang Bang, You're Dead.
Oh my God, he was in The Punisher as Spacker Dave.
He was in Phone Booth.
Oh my God.
Remember Phone Booth?
Remember whenever it was like as soon as Kiefer Sutherland talked, you're like, well, I know who the killer is.
I wonder if that killer
is Kiefer Sutherland's character.
It couldn't possibly be. His voice is very identifiable. I mean, wait. Yep, that's it. Bang Bang, You're Dead. That's the one where he shot up the school.
Yep.
Ben Foster's awesome. I think he should win. He was my favorite.
Oh my God, Tom Cavanaugh. You know who Tom Cavanaugh is? No, you don't, because you don't watch The Flash.
I don't.
I watched this, but I don't even know who he is.
Tom Cavanaugh? Pull up Tom. Just click on Tom Cavanaugh. You'll see who he is. He's awesome. He's another guy that's awesome at everything he does.
Oh, he's Ed.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I forgot he was on that. He's so good in The Flash, man. You guys have got to watch The Flash. That's what I'm getting at.
We're hinting at we should watch The Flash. All right.
All
so
right, so
we're at the big topic.
Yeah, now that we've talked about movies, let's talk about the biggest disappointment of the week.
God, we just watched it, all of us, right?
Yeah, I watched it twice today, and
I've seen it 3 times.
The
at this
second
point.
time was worse than the first, and the first was not good.
So we don't like to badmouth things here on the podcast. We try
really
to be
don't.
nice.
We try to be nice, and we try to want to like things, but man,
we're talking about the Ghostbusters trailer.
Could you figure it out?
Because you figured it out?
Listen, if there's ghosts around, who are you going to call? Anybody but the new Ghostbusters.
Man, come on. Tell me, Cragg. Tell me what the Ghostbusters is our childhood.
It was. And unfortunately, this generation has to have this.
Here's the thing that pisses me off, is they flat out say, this does not take place in the same world as Ghostbusters. Why? Why couldn't they write a story? Because they said the reason they said this was because they said, well, if people 30 years ago saw that ghosts existed, then why would they be so surprised when they came back? Who gives a fuck? People were surprised they came back in the second one. Second was still a fucking good movie.
It's true.
Doesn't matter. Vigo, who looks like bald Kevin Costner.
I'm sorry. I felt like I had to do that.
Vigo. So
come on.
Okay, so let's look at this trailer. As people who all probably, I mean, we all love the original Ghostbusters, right? Like it's like
first one is a classic. First one is Back to the Future. The first one is Star Wars. First one is, it is quintessential classic.
It's a classic movie that should never have been touched to begin with, unless somehow we got the original cast back for a Ghostbusters 3.
You can't.
And you can't now because
one of them's dead.
One of them has passed on. But if you're going to do it, don't reboot it. don't try to act like the first one never happened because everyone loves the first one. Every person that's ever watched Ghostbusters, I don't think there's anybody that's ever watched it and been like, this isn't for me. They fucking love it.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters is, it's Bill Murray at his prime. It's Dan Aykroyd at his prime. It's fucking Ernie Hudson at his prime.
Ernie Hudson. He was in The Crow shortly after that.
Harold Ramis. I mean, come on.
Well,
Yeah.
and even the effects and everything in that movie were great too.
You
I
can
mean,
still
if you
watch
can
it.
compare that to this one.
My problem is here. I told you guys this earlier. To me, it felt like when the Ghostbusters got kicked out of the lab and they needed to make money. That's
Right.
that was the point of it. They weren't like, hey, because in the trailer they're like, people need our help. We should be Ghostbusters. We all have successful careers, but fuck it, let's hunt ghosts.
And also,
No, they hunted ghosts because they had to. They had no money.
wait a minute. I've got a new plan. Let's hunt ghosts with dual-wielded pistols that we made out of nowhere. Let's fucking have incredible machines that for some reason we can just build with no problem.
And don't get me wrong, I like most of the cast of this. I'm not the biggest Melissa McCarthy fan because I feel like she's the female version of Kevin James. And
Right.
I'm not the biggest Kevin James fan. I don't.
That's fair.
Pratt Falls, they don't do it for me.
Can I just say Melissa McCarthy was amazing in Spy, though? Have you seen that?
I have not seen Spy. I heard
Dude,
Spy was
I'm
really
telling
good.
you, you'll
I heard
love it.
Jason Statham was amazing.
He's
in that.
amazing in it. I mean, it's a really good movie.
And I'm fine with it. I don't have issues with her personally.
But
I thought she was good in
She
Bridesmaid.
also made Tammy, and let me tell you,
I thought she was great in Bridesmaid. She was one of my favorite parts of Bridesmaid. But guess what? She hasn't stopped playing that character.
it's true. She's
So-
always that character. Even on Saturday Night Live when she hosts, she's that character.
Yeah.
I mean,
So it's just like, but come on.
but see, and that again, I've told you this. That's my thing with Leslie Jones. Like,
Same character.
she's just herself being loud. Like, I don't.
They try to force it.
Is that something that we?
It felt
need?
forced. The jokes didn't feel
Yeah.
funny to me.
Yep.
Like, what's with the ghost possessing people? That never happened in the original
No,
Ghostbusters.
that never happened. Also, can I just say the ghosts kind of look like they came from that Eddie Murphy movie, The Haunted Mansion, like a little bit.
They said they were making the ghosts all humanoid and stuff like that, which,
That's what-
which I kind of like.
I mean, that's
but-
fine, but that's kind of what they looked like. Like those effects even looked almost like The Haunted Mansion
Yeah.
with
I
Eddie
don't know.
Murphy
It
in.
felt the original Ghostbusters to me was substance over style.
Right.
It had a good style, but the proton packs and stuff, they were cool, but they just don't cross the streams. That was it. Everybody knows
Yeah.
don't cross the streams.
Yep.
And that's not when you're pissing with some guy in the same toilet. That's don't cross your proton packs because
What
it'll
are-
blow up the world.
What are they going to say now? Like, don't shoot each other's pistol bullets.
yeah,
I
they
mean,
had like holsters and
some of them have like shotgun blasters and like.
it was too much. I don't know. It didn't feel.
And honestly, the worst part about it to me is I'm a huge Kristen Wiig fan. I think she's hilarious. Even her in this trailer was like, ugh. It just
Yeah.
felt like gross. It was like, it's like they were like, okay, all the characters that you guys play all the time, we don't want you to do anything but be generic. Is that cool?
Yeah.
And then it's like, we're gonna give you bad jokes. We're gonna try to force those on you, and all the ghosts are whatever. Slimer's back. The other movie never happened. You guys are it. Got it? And they're like,
And-
all right.
And so part of the synopsis was ghosts don't exist until right now. Like somebody's making ghosts appear. So that's why they're doing this. In the original, what? Tell me the original, Cragg. Ghosts were always
They were
there.
they were just there.
They were just always there. Nobody could really see them. Nobody could really catch them. It was just like, they called them to the hotel. Hey, there's something on that
it was
fucking floor.
accepted. Yeah.
Yeah. And nobody could catch him because how do you catch a fucking ghost?
right.
It just
Now,
it
granted,
slimed me. He went right through Bill Murray and he's laying in the hallway.
So good.
That joke, it slimed me. It was so much better than her. It's in every crack and super
that-
projectile vomit.
And it's like, has that become a new has that become the new fart joke? Is vomit? Like
I
I feel like
guess.
it happens in every comedy now.
yeah,
And,
probably.
and it's always like not. It's never funny. It's almost never funny.
well, albeit now all of this, I'm sure everybody's gonna go see it.
Maybe.
Anyways,
I don't know, man. Everything that I've read points to people may not go see this movie.
It might bomb. That's truth. Because,
Hopefully it does, because then they'll learn.
yeah. The first Ghostbusters, let's be honest, not an action-packed movie.
No.
No.
The proton packs were super heavy. They said that.
Also, let's point out that the first movie was funny. And this one doesn't look funny.
Come on, Rick Moranis was in that. Remember that?
Oh, I
Sigourney
do.
Weaver in
The
her
key-
prime.
The gatekeeper.
Zool? Come on. It's so good. And I don't know. Everybody kind of shit on the second one because of the walking Statue of Liberty, but fuck it. It was fun.
It needed to happen.
It needed to-
Everybody, why not?
Yeah, they all got together and sung, and they got the evil ooze to part its ways just long enough. So who cares? It was cheesy. It didn't matter.
I still loved it though. I thought it was good. I thought it was still fun. And that's at
What
the
about
heart
that
of
guy at the end was like, I am drippings with goo.
At the,
I don't know who that guy is, but he makes me laugh every time he says.
At the heart of Ghostbusters, it's got to be fun. And it just that trailer didn't seem fun.
No, it
just
seems
seemed
forced.
Forced, yeah.
Yep.
Well, it seemed like they were, like you said, like we said, they're tech amazing wizards of everything.
Yeah.
And Ghostbusters was like, that was done out of necessity because they needed a job. Because they got kicked off the college campus.
I mean,
and,
they worked in a piece of shit like rundown old firehouse or whatever.
yeah.
I mean, they had a hearse because that was the only thing they could afford. Or it was an old ambulance in that, right? Like an old school ambulance.
Yeah, it was
That's what
old school ambulance.
And then it's like, in this one, it's like, oh, hey, guess what? My dad let me have a fucking hearse because it's a Cadillac. Like,
Get it? Well, Corey, I don't know if you understand, but hearse carry dead people and they hunt ghosts.
I understand. I mean, I get it.
It's a joke.
Oh my god, it almost went over my head. It's so genius. Every joke seemed so boring.
Yeah. It definitely left people underwhelmed, that's for sure.
And like Kate McKinnon, who I love on Saturday Night Live,
Oh, no. Oh, and did you see the Casablanca sketch she was in?
yeah.
Where she just kept going, no. Oh, no, please, no. You just said that for like 5 minutes. It was funny.
But again, in the trailer, it's like she's like, "Hey, look, I wink a lot and I wear crazy wigs." It's like awesome. Like she winked like every scene, right? Was that just me?
Here's the thing. Here's what I feel is happening and is the crime against the movie is the original Ghostbusters, they weren't characters. They were actors. They just had personalities.
Yeah.
This feels like characters. Here's the comic relief. Here's the quirky one. Here's the smart one. Here's the leader-ish one. And it wasn't like that. I thought my entire childhood Bill Murray was the leader. He was.
Right.
But he was the dumbest of all of them, right?
Right.
Like, Egon was obviously the smartest, and then Dan Aykroyd was next, and, Ernie Hudson just needed a job.
And
It
then
was totally fine.
and Bill Murray just kind of fucking bullshit his way through everything.
Everything. He lied. Remember when he went into Sigourney Weaver's apartment? He's just like, sometimes I like to hide in here.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's exactly, this trailer seems to me like it's going to be, oh, we need to be Ghostbusters. Let's fight some ghosts. Oh my God, a bunch of ghosts. Let's fight them.
Speaking of Bill Murray, real quick though, Nick, do we need to do a whole podcast dedicated to What About Bob one day? It's like maybe your favorite movie, right?
It's my favorite movie. I've probably seen What About Bob 350 something odd times.
I just had to bring that up because it is a great. I mean, I love it. I love it too. It's so funny, but
It might be his best movie.
it's hard not to. I mean, it's good. It's really good. It's Bill Murray being just genius. Like he's so genius in everything.
I'm going to watch that movie soon again. I haven't seen it in quite a long time.
It's hard for me though because I actually really love him in Groundhog Day too.
But Groundhog Day's come on. I love Groundhog's Day too. But come on.
What about
Take a
Bob?
vacation from yourself. That's what I tell people all the time. When he's doing the baby steps, when he's
Yeah.
first in the office, and he's doing the baby steps, he's like, baby stepping around the room, and he gets to the window, he's like, I watched that movie for a day. You know how on Christmas they play a Christmas Story
Right.
just on repeat? I did that one day with What About Bob. I just watched it like a dozen times because why not?
Do you think the question is now? Do you feel like you're gonna do that with the new Ghostbusters movie?
No, I'm not. I'll look.
You mean geeky Thor isn't enough to do it for you?
Yeah, what was that about?
I don't know.
He was in there for like 2 seconds to show you that he was possessed by a ghost, which I fucking hate. This
Was that
possessed
what
by
it was?
ghosts.
I thought he just kicked open a door. And was like, I'm hunky Thor. Like, I mean, I
No,
wear glasses
it was
now.
it was right after they said the ghost can possess people.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't
Oh,
get
he's
that
walking
at
through
all.
it
I
with
just
the
thought.
suit.
He
And
was
here's
like,
the problem: there was possession in the first Ghostbusters, but it was 2 people, and it was subtle, and it wasn't just like them attacking everybody.
Yeah.
It was great. I don't know.
It wasn't
I can't,
like I'm Melissa McCarthy and now my head spins backwards.
and then I'm gonna get slapped really hard twice.
Are you kidding me? Devil, ghost, but I mean, it's just like, come on.
It didn't feel. Ghostbusters is subtle.
It felt like Whoopi Goldberg from Ghost when she's possessed.
I feel like what this movie needs maybe is a
That's
laugh
hilarious.
track.
Almost.
Because that's what it feels. It feels like it's all those jokes are so forced, like a sitcom that with like insert laugh here because that's where you're supposed to laugh. Like
Yeah.
it's like
And like the little things we're talking about in the original Ghostbusters it was subtle. It
right.
was just him like when he walks in her apartment, he's doing the little thing on the piano. He's like just messing with them. They hate that. It was small. It was subtle. It was
The best, I guess, the best thing I could say for subtle comedy besides anything Bill Murray's been in, because he's always just a subtle genius. But if you want to watch a show, Arrested Development does it better than any show in history of TV, I
Oh,
believe.
definitely.
As far as
Remember-
subtle humor.
I love that television show.
remember the mole episode where he wanted to be he thought he was a mole and he thought he was supposed to be a mole
So
actor
he
Oh,
dressed up
his
as a
brother.
mole
His-
and fought
Yeah.
George
Yeah.
Michael in a
in a
tiny-
jetpack in a tiny city. The
Just-
whole thing. That's the episode I remember the most. Is the whole thing just came together because they had to hide the development from the Japanese people,
Right.
so they built a tiny development. But then the mole comes in and he looks like a giant Godzilla thing, and then here comes George Michael on jetpack and he's fighting them. And like, oh my god! And the Japanese people. That is amazing.
It's just joke on top of joke, all subtly hit.
well,
and the
it
greatest thing-
builds.
But the greatest thing about that show, Arrested Development, is that you can go back and watch it and still catch jokes you didn't hear the first time or
No.
didn't put together the first time. And I've seen that
Mr.
show like
F.
7 Mr. F.
That's a mentally retarded female.
There's just, I mean, but that's what's subtle. That's the best. Besides, like I said, Bill Murray in pretty much every role he was in. That's the best subtle like comedy that I've seen in a long time, and it may be my favorite. Like just subtle comedy.
Yeah, it's like the quiet little snipes.
Yeah, it's just, and they're there. They're just peppered throughout the whole time. Like they did that whole episode about how they need to they need to get more people to buy their houses, but it's really about them not making not making enough or having enough viewership, and how they're gonna fucking the whole show's go their whole business is going under, but it's really so everybody go support the Blues.
Did you like the Netflix one?
I didn't mind it. I haven't watched it because they've apparently went in and made it more like in sync, or they re-edited it.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was fine. There's
can-
some really funny shit in there. After it's the first initial watch of it, I was kind of like, eh. But then when I went back and watched it again, it's still got those subtle snipes in there that are really
The
good.
only thing I remember is, did you watch the new one?
I haven't seen it.
How did he get the cross in the limo? It always makes me laugh every time. But it's like sticking. It's physically impossible to get that thing in there. But somehow it's like he produced Gob Bluth
Job.
was pretending to be. He called him Gob. He was pretending to be Jesus in a play, and he put a giant cross that he was on inside a limo, and the 2 arms are sticking out the windows, and the other one's sticking out the top, and it looks physically impossible how he got it in there, but he's just driving this car with it in it. I don't know why that cracks me up so much, but it's super funny.
It's super funny, man. It's a good show, and they're supposed to be doing season 5, so we'll see.
So, that being said, just go watch Arrested Development.
And don't watch Ghostbusters.
And What About Bob?
Yeah, watch
just-
Arrested Development and What About. Just have a day of Arrested Development and What About Bob. And
I'm
you
so
will be-
glad I didn't have a
so
Ghostbusters
happy.
tattoo at this point. I'd be pretty sad about
Oh,
myself.
yeah.
Oh
that'd
man,
Ooh.
I think the only one that's safe right now is Back to the Future, right? And who knows?
It'll be touched.
I hope not. Man, when they were talking about Justin Bieber being Marty McFly, I thought, I was like, this might be the end. I may need to kill myself.
Well, there's just things you don't have to mess with. There's things that you can reboot.
Right.
Bring the turtles back. Fine. Please reboot the Transformers and make them nice and cool and not like
and not just metal objects.
pointy
that are-
junkyards. I mean, do it. I don't care. You know, whatever. Remake the same Zelda game 1,000 times.
Wait, you know how I feel about that, Nick.
But sometimes stuff can be remade. Sometimes stuff shouldn't.
And Ghostbusters is one of them. Back to the Future is one of them. Wizard of Oz is one of, even though they technically remade it with the Wiz, but like you can't go back and remake that movie like the original Wizard of Oz and people be like, "Yeah, I'm on board for this," because it's like,
well, it's a product of the time too.
you're right. Well, exactly. I mean, there's some 80 like if they ever remade The Breakfast Club, I'd be so angry. Because that movie still holds up if you watch it today.
Yeah.
Just like Ghostbusters still holds up. Back to the Future still holds up. It's still fun to watch. Yeah, most John Hughes movies are like that. You just like those 80s, there's some 80s movies that you just can't touch. And then there's a ton that you can fucking remake, and I probably didn't watch it the first time, so it doesn't matter. But well, for this week, I guess we're gonna say goodbye. But don't forget to go on YouTube. Check us out, like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, Plastic Tombstone, TMBSTONE, damn letters. And then like us on Facebook. Check out our website, created by this man, Cragg.
Hey.
What's that link? What's that website?
www.plastictombstonestudios.com.
All right, there
you
we
go.
have it.
We had fun having you on, Craig. You should come back and do
had
another
a lot
one.
of-
Thanks
we had
for
a lot of
inviting me.
fun. All right, guys. Thanks for listening this week. And as we said, go watch Arrested Development and What About Bob?
Or the original Ghostbusters.
Or anything with
Because
TJ
guess-
Miller.
Because guess what? You don't have to wait till summer to watch Ghostbusters
Because it
it's
already
out.
exists. And there's another one.
There's 2 of them. You get 2 movies and you can watch them right now.
So anyway, thanks for listening and have a good week. Is that a thing we do?
That's not what we do.
Okay, well, Yogi Bear 3D, TJ Miller.
Craig, say the last line.
Of
Whatever
what?
you want to say.
Say the last line of what?
The podcast.
Eh.
It's gonna close down on what you say.
Just bring it.